Ahxéhee. And again, I'm Mary Francis from Yeha I'm the interim executive director for Yeha. And today we have two guests on our live, and they're going to share with us more information about Spyhop, um, Youth Media Matters, and Voices of the West. So again, um, I'd like to share my clans. Yeidina tachitni nishlendo tapahapashichin look at the shade adot laslana itashinala, and I'm joining you here on this live from Page, Arizona, and I'm very happy to be here today. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. So I'm going to hand the introduction mic over to Ricky.
Thank you for having us. My name is Ricky Vigil. I am a media arts mentor here at Spyhop in Salt Lake City.
And I'm Tommy. I'm a community media arts mentor out here in Salt Lake City as well, throughout the state of Utah.
Yeah. And just to give y'all a little bit of background about Spyhop and what we do in our mission, we're a nonprofit youth media education center. We're based here in Salt Lake. Our work does take us all around the state of Utah, especially Tommy. We're both community mentors, so we have a really awesome campus here that we're broadcasting from that has lots of really cool classrooms, lots of amazing gear. We teach kids. We have four disciplines, so design, audio, video, and music. So kids can learn how to form a band. They can learn how to make short films. They can learn to make video games. They can learn to record podcasts. Um, Anything kind of branching out from all of those areas. And what Tommy and I do, we go out into our community. So after school programs, schools, primarily also underserved areas. We work a lot with refugee populations, minority populations, English language learners, those kinds of folks who may not have access to get to Salt Lake to be part of our programs. So we're able to bring our work out to them.
Mhm.
And Tommy, you want to talk about like statewide stuff a little bit?
Well, statewide stuff, yeah. So the state and other districts, a lot of funding goes into it. And so something like Voice of the West which was originally funded by the MacArthur Foundation. They they pay for us to come out, and that allows us to work with students like in Monument Valley, and it also allows the students to also be paid by the end of the week, so they get their little stipend. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. As far as we also have someone else named Fonzie who joins us too, and Adam Sherlock. So all four of us do the Voice of the West here and there. Usually it's just three of us that go on a trip. The other two places would be like Vernal, Richfield, and then sometimes
We went to Blanding
Blanding.
last year.
Yeah. So this summer we're gonna do Vernal, Monument Valley, and Richfield.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Voice of the West, we have said it. That's why we're here. That's the work that we do in Monument Valley. It's a week-long film. It's basically a boot camp. So we work with local teens in these areas. We go to Richfield, Vernal, Blanding, Monument Valley, and kids learn how to make short films from top to bottom. So everything from the planning, storyboarding, how to operate the cameras, how to record audio, how to edit, how to animate, and it all culminates in a public screening at a high school auditorium, movie theater, any place that the community will have us. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of the Voices of the West program in a very simple, very quick way. And it's for kids age 12 to 19 in those populations. So we spend all day with these kids all week, and we're hitting the ground running, boots to the ground, making films the whole time.
And just one more thing to add about that is that when the project ends, hopefully what we hope for is that every time we return to these locations that we have returning students. They're welcome to join in from ages it's usually like 11 or 12 up to 19. When they reach 20 years old or above, or let's say they just don't want to do it again, they we recognize them as Spyhop students forever, even if they just join one um summer's worth of Voice of the West.
Mhm.
And so what we do is being in contact with their parents and the emails, we allow them to be integrated into the Spy Hop cycle. So we've had a student from Monument Valley actually come out to um, Salt Lake for about maybe 6 months or so to take courses at Spy Hop. And we've also had students from different Voice of the West um,
Mhm.
come out to take college courses here in uh, Salt Lake City. And because a lot of people in college are 18, 19, they're still able to take Spy Up courses for free. And we also have a thing called Phase Two, which is like directly related to film. It's basically its own company, but it's also a Spy Hop class. It's kind of like an in-between.
Mhm.
And they're trying to do measures that go out to these locations that we go to integrate some of these students or alumni from Voice of the West to be paid and to join real film productions for commercials or TV. So it goes beyond Voice of the West in that sense.
Yeah. So last year in Blanding, like Tommy was saying, after we were there for our week making films with the young people, phase two went down there and they did their own week of professional training. So those people were able to learn what it's like to work on an actual professional film crew. We're teaching them like how to do the basics, how to like get their feet wet, and some of them do make amazing work. And phase two is kind of the next step up where they can make some professional level stuff and work on actual productions and yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, the insights of Spy Hop and the work that you guys are doing. Um, so, what's something people assume about youth media that isn't true?
That it's bad. I think that a lot of times, not only like artwork, I think that a lot of times kids are dismissed. Like their voice, their creative endeavors, they're like, that's cute, that's nice, put it on the fridge, never look at it again, that kind of thing. Um, I think that some of the films made, especially in Voices of the West, are like some of the best films that are made here at Spy Hop.
Oh yeah.
We really like the main thing we want kids to get out of this experience. We want them to have the technical skills. We want them to know how to operate the cameras and edit, but we want them to know that their stories matter, their stories are good, and other people want to see their stories. So I do think that like when parents and community members come out to those screenings and they see the film, sometimes their minds are blown and like, you made that? Like that like looks like a real movie. What do you think? What do you think people don't know or think about youth media?
Yeah, I mean to piggyback on that, there's there's so many times where I use students' films, especially students from Voice of the West, for my classes here and other schools. And some of the kids look at it and they're like, I can make that. Like, are you sure? And we try to give those technical skills to give them that confidence to tell their stories in these ways because anyone can grab a journal and write or maybe start a podcast. But with Voice of the West is like you're actually joining a team. And yeah, I would say like that's some of the things that I've seen is pretty much yeah, like people don't people might not take student films seriously. Luckily nowadays with like the internet and like to throw out some things like YouTube and TikTok, I think people are starting to see that are making very good quality films with state-of-the-art equipment. So that's like something that we really want to push. And I think over the years, more and more people in these communities have been seeing that and really want their kids to join in and see for example it was I think it was the student that did come out, like they are going to use the skills that Spyhop helped them
Yeah.
learn to help their family's business with some videos and things like that. So it's basically a lot of families like want someone in their family to have these skills too, because like if there's a family from Monument Valley with trying to have a business and they want to have a commercial or they want to put things out there to get their business known or get more attention. Now they have a child or a teenager that knows how to do that and can use those the rest of their lives.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's really powerful in that sense too.
Yes, absolutely. I have to agree. I have seen some wonderful videos that youth, produce. So just looking forward to what the students create this coming year. But I have another question. What got you personally into youth media work, and like, you know, what made you want to do the work that you're doing now?
Yeah, so I have been working in after school programs for almost 15 years now. So I've run my own after school programs. I've like had staff. I've been like the top person and like working down, and I love working with kids. I grew up in an area of the Salt Lake Valley that didn't have access to a lot of things. I loved making art when I was a kid, and my school didn't have an art program. So I always think my hoodie, actually, our new hoodies that we got at Spyhop say, I wish I had Spyhop as a kid. And
Mm,
that's kind of like what we all feel, what a lot of us feel, and what we all think. I already knew how to work with kids. I already was pretty good at forming relationships with them, but I'm also an artist. I'm an illustrator. I've learned a lot here at Spyhop. I've learned to make film. I've learned to animate. I've learned to record podcasts. And I just want those kids to know that it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you think you can do. Like you can make art, and what you make is cool and important. Even if what you make is silly and like you and your friends laugh at it for 3 or 4 minutes, like that, you learned how to use a camera, you learned how to edit, you learned how to storyboard. So I just want to, ingrain that sense of pride, that sense of ability, and that sense of community in creating art in young people.
Yeah, for me too, it's at some point as an artist, you want to use your skills to show other people what to do. I love teaching people of all ages how to do certain type of art things and films. When it comes to students and youth, there's something like really magical about how kids and teens come up with things, and it helps inspire us too. I feel like I became a better artist, and I learn a lot from the students as much as they learn from us. That's why we use the term mentor here and not teacher, because we're seen as like peers with the students. We're learning from each other, and we're both teaching each other things. So it's really awesome to see that. And I think community and art is one of the most important things, especially for getting voices out there and for getting better at art. And I would never ever think that just because someone's 12 years old, 15 years old, 17 years old, or even like someone older, like in their 80s, I would never think that I have nothing to learn from them, because I do. And we're always teaching things every day to each other. It just feels like a really good success story for not just yourself, but for the community and for art in general and the evolution of art. So and it being a nonprofit, it's just like, I think that's just so cool. It's like I feel like it's one of the coolest ways to use my art and my skills. And that's one of the reasons why I was interested in like work like this.
Yeah, the other cool thing that I want to add real quick is seeing an adult who likes the same music as you, who has weird tattoos, who like can talk to you about the cartoons you're watching. Not to say we're all these immature 12-year-old kind of kids, but like seeing that you can grow up to be this kind of adult and you can be an artist and you can like have a professional job. I think that is important, especially to like our kids who are like one track mind, artistic kind of kids. A lot of our kids are really impressive in their range of knowledge and their range of interest. So like there's students here in this building and like they show up in scrubs and I'm like, are you like in a movie? And they're like, no, I'm like going to medical school. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, you don't want to be an animator? You're an amazing animator. So like it's cool just to see the breadth of people's interests and being able to be like, that weird grown-up artistic person who managed to do something cool with their life.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your what inspired you to do the work that you guys are doing. That's wonderful. Um, so about 3 years ago, Samantha and our Ndzisgaii Community Center partnered with Spyhop um, to do the Voices of the West. So from your side, how did that partnership evolve? How did it come together?
Do you know?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like I think there's like a history there that probably goes back even probably before 3 years ago. A lot of it starts with the not just the board here, but also with some of the leadership here. Like for example, Adam Sherlock, he's one of the what's his position now? He's like a manager of youth programming here. And he had a huge influence on getting the communities to um, not just listen to what we had to offer, and also the MacArthur Foundation, I think, was a big part of that. From what I've known about not just Monument Valley, but the other communities like Blanding and Vernal, a lot of it too is parent engagement or people that are already in that community trying to expand what can be done in those communities. So when someone from Spyhop or the board or from these foundations come out there with this idea, it already is like there's already like that's just like part of a step that's already been in process in that community. And from what I gathered, like yeah, sorry I don't know like the ins and outs of the details. Um, but yeah, like there's like PDFs on it and stuff. Like I've read it all, but like there's so much information
Yeah.
and history.
Our supervisor, Nicole, is the one who kind of sets up all of the grants and
Yeah.
all the trips and books all of everything
Mm.
for us. So she's the one like behind the scenes and knows all this, inside baseball stuff. And we just go out there
Yeah.
with a bunch of cameras and whatnot. But
But but in saying that, we have support out there, especially in Monument Valley, with just
Mhm.
not just with the community center, but even with like the catering business out there has been awesome. Other members of community, some students' parents, they get involved or like there's a not last year, but the year before last year, there's like a moment where uh I can't remember the person's name, but they like were like wait, you only have like 6, 7 students? And I was like, yeah. And like, they're like, all right, I'll be back. And they came back in like an hour or two with
Mm,
like 8 or 9 more kids. I was like, okay, like let's, so it's pretty cool how that evolves as well. And as the years go by, it just gets better and better. And I feel like last year's was like,
mhm.
we had so many students involved, and I thought it was like one of the most successful ones because I think last year was like my second year there,
yeah, it was
and
my first year in Monument Valley, but we had 18 students
it was like,
last year.
yeah, like right off the bat on the first day there, and then like the next day, some more students showed up. So
Yeah,
it was, we had, usually we take around 16 to maybe 18 students. Like, I think we had like almost like 20 or something like
it was
that.
close.
Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was a lot.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. That's a large group to work with,
Yeah.
which kind
Yeah.
of brings us into um, could you describe the typical day of what first day might look like and then into the week? What does that look like? What
Yeah.
would the students anticipate if, if they
Oh,
were to be interested in?
for sure. So usually what the first day is, we bring in our gear and students show up in the morning. It's usually, what do we say? It's like 10 to 5,
Usually about, yeah,
10 to 4
10 to 4, 10
p.m.
to 5.
So it's all week long, 10 to 4 p.m. The students, basically what we do is, we kind of start them off a little small with like a easy, not an easy project, but a project that helps them learn about the foundations of the camera itself. We do that with something called like what we call a film blitz. So the students get into groups of, 3 to 4. Sometimes the groups will be a little bigger depending on how many students we have. We do like to have 6 different groups throughout the whole week. But sometimes it's shorter than that. It all depends. Um, we try not to have um, we try not to like keep students from working with those they want to work with. If a student really wants to have their buddy in their group, or we allow that. We try not to um remove people from groups that they want to be in. But if they show up and they don't know anybody, we try to integrate them into a group that they want, or we let them choose themselves. And so in the Film Blitz, what they do is they have a prompt, and that prompt can be about any emotion or theme. So it can be like happiness, fear, anxiety, things like that. And they have to make um, a silent film based around that theme. And everyone in the group gets, they usually do this by themselves. They'll choose jobs for each individual. So there's usually a student or two that will want to be the director of their group, a student who wants to do the storyboarding for each film. There's definitely students who just want to be like the camera person or the boom mic person. So they all choose their little jobs and whatever they want to do in that project, and who wants to be an actor, or if they want to use props. And so they make a film revolved around that. That's usually just like the first day. The second day, we introduce the next film. While we introduce the second film, some of the students in the group, because if the groups are like 3 to 4 students, maybe 5, different individuals in the group will start editing the previous film. So every day is like a cycle of starting the next project while finishing the editing of the last project. The second group film is usually what we do is like what we call like a bad YouTube tutorial. This project we allow them to work on for about 2 days, 3 days. They have a whole week to kind of finesse their films as they go along. This bad YouTube tutorial, a lot of the students like to go the comedy route, and this is where they learn more about the audio aspect of films, and this is where they integrate sound effects, how to use the mics, how to get the proper audio. They're also making the camera angles better, and like learning more about who's more of their actors, who's better at what. So some of their positions in the group and their job titles in the group will change for the second project, because they maybe will learn, okay, I was better at this on the first project, or I wasn't so good at this. And it's magical to see the students do that. The last film is pretty much the main project that we're going out to these communities for, and that's what we call the community spotlight. This film is the most serious of the 3 films that each group works on. They can choose an individual, a business, someone in their community to interview. Sometimes students pick like a parent or family member. Maybe it's a job they work at. Maybe it could be completely random too. I've had students in Monument Valley just meet someone in a day and say, "Hey, can I interview you about the business you work for, or your business?" This one is where they will set up an interview with an individual or individuals, and not just film the interview, but also take at least 20 videos of B-roll. So they're going around this business, going around the community, filming B-roll to be used in their film. By the way, each of these films are usually like can be like range from like 3 to 6 minutes long. So we allow them to work on that film for about 2 days as well, while they're still kind of finishing up the other films. If they want to film additional footage for their other films, they're welcome to do that. By the last day is kind of like the main uh, area where they have to get as much done as they can. Because what we do in these communities in Monument Valley, it seems like we went to the high school.
Yeah.
So we do screenings. Usually those are around 4 p.m., maybe 4:30 p.m. or 5. And so yeah, students can invite members of the community, their parents, family, and at the high school is great because there's a big screen and that auditorium. So there's plenty of space. We provide like, we try to bring popcorn and drinks and for people to have. And we do a big group photo. Something I forgot to add, which Ricky's really good at this, is the other thing that students make too is we bring iPads and each group gets to make animated credits or do graphics or any type of animation that they want to add into their films, whether that's like the name of their film, and different type of like styles, even logos for their team. Each team wants to usually have like some fun team name with a logo. I've noticed in Monument Valley, a lot of the teams have like two or three animated logos that they throw in their film. You've probably seen it on the YouTubes, but yeah, it's like awesome. So like when those screen, it really surprises people to not only see that the acting's really good and that the cinematography is really good, but there's also like animations. So these students are really going above and beyond for all three films. And the best part of all for them is that at the end of the week, maybe a few weeks out after it's over, but as long as they participate all the way up to the end of the line. If they miss a day or two, that's fine. But every single student gets a $200 stipend at the end. So even if they go with even if it's like a siblings, both individuals will get the $200. So yeah, that's pretty much. Did I miss anything?
That was
Or
pretty thorough. I think
yeah,
you got it all.
yeah. Okay.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. So you mentioned iPad, um, and are there any other equipments that the students use, or is there anything that they prefer? Are there,
Yeah,
have you
all
guys
kinds
noticed
of
that they
stuff.
prefer a certain type of camera
Yeah.
equipment?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing to touch on the iPads real fast,
Yeah.
I brought them the previous year. I brought just my own personal iPad, and a kid was just sitting there not doing anything. And I'm like, you need to do something. So I handed them my iPad, and they animated a logo and they like created bumpers and stuff. So we bring a lot of gear, and it's a lot to unload every day, but it's to like not only managing kids is like number one, teaching them how to do cool stuff, and number two, like keeping them busy. So the iPads we bring and have been a huge hit. The kids love working on them. What cameras
Yeah.
and stuff do you bring?
So yeah, I'll go to a little detail with the gear. So Spyhop, we value the idea that we do eventually want these students to, if they want to choose film as a career or music, or we do want them to learn what the industry is using. So we do use state-of-the-art equipment. As far as filming goes, we do have them start off on these Canon T7s. They're really high quality. It's a DSLR. We have two different lenses that go onto them. Both lenses can do different things. One lens is more for like up close. The other lens can maybe capture some stuff far away. We have boom mics. So we actually have a pole with the boom mic. They can capture audio. And really good quality without any interruptions. So the sound will come out really good. As far as the laptops, we bring laptops. So we have about um we have one case of laptops. So we usually have like, or no, we have bring two cases
You
of
bring
laptops. So
two? Yeah, we do.
every group will get two laptops to use. And this allows them to be editing and working on all their projects on two laptops. So what's awesome about all this is every single day we do allow students, if they request, to take a laptop home, or a camera home, or any of the equipment they need to go home and film what they want. As long as they bring it back, which usually they're like really great about. We've never had any equipment lost or anything. Um, so they can utilize all the equipment. The laptops are MacBooks, which are equipped with the whole Adobe suite, two different editing softwares, Premiere and DaVinci Resolve. What we use to edit, we switched to DaVinci Resolve last summer, just because we like the interface of it, and a lot of movies, especially like movies that are big Hollywood films, are being edited with DaVinci Resolve. The other thing we strive to do, as far as software goes, and why we chose something like DaVinci, is because we want students to be able to make their own films after Voice of the West is over. So DaVinci Resolve is completely free. You only have to pay for like little extra things, but you don't need that stuff to edit. And we've had students request a list of equipment that they can get on their own. We've had students where they use their $200 to buy their own cameras. Every once in a while, depending on if Spyhop is replacing gear or needing, or just they do donate. So every very rarely, but maybe possibly, there's times where we bring gear for the students to keep. But usually we do that with where like they pull like a name out of a hat or something like that. Um, so there is the possibility that like we can come with stuff that they can take home with them. But it's not always guaranteed. What's another equipment that you think we
That's
use?
kind of it. But the cool thing about how we build Voices of the West, as Tommy was saying, like at the beginning, we kind of introduce step by step by step. So the first day, like we break out the cameras, the kids learn how to, adjust the light, adjust the focus, all that kind of stuff. We have them do little projects that no one will see. They do like a little scavenger hunt just to learn that stuff. They record stuff. So it's all scaffolding, and we want every kid to learn how to operate all of the material, all the equipment.
Mm,
So we are pretty intentional with like if a kid has never held a camera before, none of them probably, unless they've done Voice of the West, have operated a boom mic before. Like we want them all to know how to do it and how to adjust all this stuff. So even if a kid has never done anything like this before, they're coming in, we're giving them the information, we're giving them the practice, and they should be able to do at least some of it by the end of it, if not all of it. So yeah, and it is really cool to see the kids like jump into different
yeah.
roles and the kids who get more comfortable. Like some kids like love editing. I struggle to edit, and a lot of people do because it's like you're just sitting there and like watching the same thing over and over. It's hard for me. Some kids
Mhm.
love it. So it's so cool just to see the different kinds of
Yeah.
personalities and expertise emerge.
And what's cool about the roles too is we've had students in all the communities we go to take it upon themselves to help other groups if they need. They can borrow each other's members of other groups for acting or for a little bit extra help. We've seen students who they finished their projects, so they went to go help the others with projects. We allow that to happen, and we think it's great because it builds community within themselves. And if we've also noticed that if any students are like struggling, we try to really have them know how to use this equipment, and we do push for them to kind of like, okay, you did the boom mic on this one, now you get to do the boom mic on the other film, or you get to work the camera on this one. And we've seen students switch directors for each film. So it's really magical seeing them do stuff like that. And they take it upon themselves. We've had students become kind of like what we call peer mentors in a way, where they've been doing Voice of the West for several years. So they just like know a lot of stuff like from the back of their hand. And so they, they'll go and help the other groups or help teach with us. And we just think it's so awesome that they do that.
Yeah,
And
and it is really cool having that common, finish line of the
mhm.
all the movies finished by 3 o'clock on Friday. So
Yeah,
it's really cool. I do love, kind of forgot about that the kids will like switch groups and jump in and help where
yeah.
they can. And it is really cool to like see them be like, you got to finish, I can help you finish. So
Yeah.
that is like a really cool part of this experience. And yeah,
Yeah, we as mentors are very hands off in the sense that we don't try to, we give them advice or we try to give them, if they ask us a question, is this okay to be in the film? Does not, stuff like that. But we don't come up with the story for them. We don't film for them. Like the most we do is like if they need us to press the record button, but they're doing it all themselves. So it's a lot of like their own intuition and expertise that so towards that last Friday, like, they sometimes don't even want they like sometimes don't even want us near them. They're like, we got this, because like, but of course we go with them into the community. Like, so that's another thing too I want to jump on is that when students do film at these businesses, when they do leave the premises of the community center, which they're allowed to do for their films if they like, we do go with them, or we have a parent or guardian with them at all times, or we know where they're going. We each give them our Google Voice numbers, which are directly connected to Spyhop. So we'll know like where the students are at all times and stuff like that. As far as the community center goes, they've been really great at being there and keeping an eye on the students and the different workers. Another thing that we like to do, or I like to do on the first day, is just step into the different shops and go into the community center, or just talk to most staff I can and let them know what's going on throughout the week so that they're aware that there's like students wandering around with cameras to keep an eye out for them. And just like for safety reasons, and not just that, but like just so like people aren't like, hey, what's this kid doing walking up and down with a camera? So like we let people know what's going on and stuff. So they don't feel too so, and we let the students know like, hey, you guys are good to go around, film. Don't be worried, because we've had students before be like, am I bothering this business? Am I bothering? And I was like, no, you're fine, but you can always ask them or we can talk to them
yeah.
for you. So
Oh, I
yeah.
make them talk to them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like one thing I
Oh,
try to, and I was just thinking about this in Monument Valley last year. So the students set up their community spotlights. So a lot of them have an idea when they come into it. We have a lot of repeat students, so they kind of
mhm,
know, the order of operations here. So they're like, this is what I want my community spotlight to be on.
mhm.
Sometimes you get brand new kids or kids who might, be visiting family and might not really know stuff that's going on. One group, do you remember the youngest group? They were calling everybody they could think of. They made
Yeah.
tons of phone calls and
Mhm.
people were just like straight up hanging up on
Yeah.
them, thinking they were
Yeah.
like maybe playing jokes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were doing it. They were calling. They were the ones saying like, "This is us. This is the program we're doing. We want to do this thing with you. Like, can we do it?" And they eventually did
Yeah.
one of the shops at the community center.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think part of it is like advocating for yourself, learning these skills. It's hard. It's hard to be a kid. Even now, like if my phone rings, I don't know the number, I'm like, nope. So, I think just like giving them that confidence to like, give them that sense of professionalism too, is like, this is what I'm doing. This is my work and I want to do it with you. So,
And in saying that, that's what helps with when we come back year after year. We're hoping that more and more people in the community, whether they're on the res or in Kayenta or like anywhere in the vicinity. We would like people to learn more and more about this going on. So when they do get those phone calls from the kids, they know it's not a prank phone call, or that they just like are eager to be interviewed too. And that's happened in a lot of communities where they're like, "Oh, when's Voice of the West coming on?" And businesses will use some of these videos and even pay the students themselves to utilize these for their businesses or put it on their own websites. So it's really cool when you see that happen. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And, as students, youth go, they leave with skills and, their confidence. Um, and so that's amazing what you guys are doing. Um, so for families that are listening, what should they know if their youth wants to do a program like Voices? of the West. So, what age group is this for? Um, just I guess just a quick overview. Do they need any experience? Um, what should they bring or be ready for? Are there any costs, scholarships, or any support? And then what's the time? Again, the time commitment is a week. I remember that. So,
Yeah.
so any.
So yeah, so this is a completely free program. I know that Nicole, our supervisor, works to create a flyer and get it distributed down as much as we can in Monument Valley. It's hard for us to get there during the school year, but um, it's again for young people aged 12 to 19. No experience is required. Um, we typically see the kids signing up. We have a spreadsheet and we'll call them, we'll confirm, we'll be like, hey, it's coming up this and this date, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Do you know the
So,
dates for
well,
Monument Valley this
so Voice of
year?
the West, so most Spy Hop programming is 12 to 19. I think Voice of the West we put 13 to
Is
19,
it?
but
Okay.
we haven't been super strict. Like we've had 11 or 12-year-olds, especially if their sibling is in there. Um and sometimes we get 12 or 11-year-olds that are like very like serious about the whole program. So uh if it happens, it happens. Um Yeah, it's 10 to 4 p.m. It goes Monday through Friday. For this year, it's going to
It's
be,
June 8th to 12th in Monument
yeah.
Valley this year.
Mhm.
Um,
And the screenings are usually, we haven't squared away yet, but we're gonna have to talk to the high school. Um, and if there's anything else that anyone knows of in the community that has like a theater room, but usually the high school is the best bet 'cause it's like right down the road. The screening usually is at 4 p.m., but it probably starts more like 4:30 or when everyone can show up. Um, and
we feed the kids every day.
yeah,
We
yeah.
had really awesome catering in Monument
Mhm.
Valley.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we have snacks for them. We have water
yeah,
throughout the whole day. And then, yeah, in the middle of the day, usually around noon or 1 p.m., they all get a lunch that's free. And like I said, they at the end of the week, as long as they show up mostly every day, if they miss a day, it's fine. Maybe 2 days, but as long as they're there showing up and doing the work, each individual student gets the $200 stipend. And like we said, we try to stay in contact with the parents or we send emails and they can join our email list to see when other opportunities are popping up. Every 2 years, we do like a youth summit here in Salt Lake where we invite students from all the Voice of the West to come and hang out here. We give them hotel space and they do different activities every day,
yeah.
and little field trips every day. I'm not sure if they're doing one this
Yeah,
year
it's
or
not
maybe it's
happening
gonna be,
this year. I'm hoping it happens again next year, but it was
yeah.
really cool. So they get to explore the city, do cool stuff in Salt Lake, and also engage in some spy hop workshops, do some stuff with some
Mhm.
of the other
Yeah.
mentors, watch all the films, so they get to see
Yeah.
the films from all the other students as well.
Yeah, all the films go on YouTube, and they can do with what they want with the films. If they want files of the films or any files, rather, we do keep a database of the files. So, let's say a year down the road, a student's like, "Hey, I kind of want to edit this film and add more to it." If they want to upload to their own YouTube as well, we allow that. So, um, yeah, am I missing anything or?
Not
Sorry.
that I can think of.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like internships or scholarships,
Mhm.
that's usually something they can email Spyhop about. It's kind of like it depends on how they could definitely utilize what they made for like their own demo reels or
Even
have
like letters of recommendation, we're
letters of
happy to write
recommendation,
that
stuff
kind of
like
thing as
that.
well.
And Spyhop does try to team up with like the colleges here, like a community college, as far as like phase two as well.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of people on the board or members of staff here who have direct connections with other schools in the area or colleges.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that there's like bridges that can be made. Like I said, we've had Voice of the West students that came out to
Mhm.
do college up in like Ogden or Salt Lake. Um, and so that does happen. But yeah, as long as students ask about anything or even what gear they want to buy or gear they want for their own projects, we try to do what we can that where we're answering those emails afterwards, and we don't leave like any students left behind. If they want to email us about something, or if they still want to like be part of Spyhop projects, if they reach out, we're gonna think of a way for them to join the Spyhop family and like um keep working with us if they want. So like we for sure are about that. So,
That's great.
mhm.
Well, thank you so much for amplifying our youth's voices out in Monument Valley, and it's wonderful to hear about um, their evolving skills, and so I'm very happy to hear that, and thank you. What are some of the what can parents and grandparents and caregivers do to support youth who want to tell stories?
I think listening is like a big deal. Like earlier, we were saying a lot of people assume that kids media is maybe not good. And I think that just fostering that imagination, fostering that desire to tell stories, fostering that desire to create, like goes a really long way. Even if it's just like going a little bit beyond that surface level. Like if a kid shows you a really cool video they've edited on their phone, be like, oh, how did you do that? Why did you pick that song behind it? Like, why did you edit it like that? Can you like show me how to do this?
Mhm.
So I think like getting into their process, being real about it too. Um, yeah, just, we do at Spyhop, it's important to us to like bring this cool gear out to these places and use it. When we leave though, we take our cameras with us. So these kids might, not have the means to make a film, but they can storyboard. Maybe they can borrow someone's phone and make a cool little edit. I just think like doing whatever you can to foster that interest is important. Um, I feel like a lot of kids, if a kid plays a sport, like there's an obvious, clear way that you can like support that. You go to a game, you buy them all the gear they need. You wear a t-shirt, you buy the fundraising stuff. I think all the same stuff works with art as well. It's not as concrete, so you got to work a little bit harder. You got to buy that kid a notebook and some cool pens. You got to, go see a movie that they want to see. You gotta, talk about the things that they're interested in. So, yeah, what about you?
No, I agree. I think it's a challenge because we work with a lot of students who come from all types of backgrounds. As someone who has like my father, he's from Kosovo, so he's very much like uh, art's not a career, work, 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 and I grew up with that, and so I know how it feels to be a student that or a kid that wants to really have this idea that I want to make a career out of my art,
Mhm.
and to maybe have a parent that doesn't see it as a career or doesn't see it as a job. And it doesn't always have to be a career or job. I mean, this could be a hobby for someone's life, you know? And so we just want people to know that like if you have a student that joins Voice of the West, all students are joining the program for all different reasons. Sometimes the parent just wants them there, and no matter what the reason is, we try to listen to those students and let them um, tell us what they want to do. And a lot of students do open up to us about that stuff. And um, so as far as like at Voice of the West, if there is students that take film seriously, really want to make stuff that is all about storytelling stuff. I think really like parents having them listen because like I said, it can help them out. Like if a parent has a business, now they have a child that knows how to film like a commercial for them or something. So like um it could go both ways if they like want to utilize like what their child has learned and stuff. But I think overall, just like creativity helps open up the door in other aspects. Like where you were saying earlier, is like we have students here who just want to be a doctor, but they still come to Spyhop. And some people ask, oh, why is that? And I think it's because when people do something that's outside the scope of like their career, or maybe it's not the main thing they want to do in life, I do think it opens up other like um just pathways in the brain of just like building those community and learning and knowing how to work with a team. Because I think no matter what job someone gets or um what family a student is part of, there's always an aspect of community and learning and team building. We as a species of humans are always doing teams. I mean, for centuries and almost like our whole everyone like history of life. Um so like basically that's like the ground up from having a student know what they want to do in life and knowing that these other things can help with that in life. I mean, people do yoga or go bicycle riding for their own mental health. And I think art is the same. I think art is extremely important for uh opening those aspects of your brain and wanting to learn and want to just like um, live a happy, healthy life and express yourself the way you want to express yourself.
And to connect to other people as
Right.
well.
Yeah. Sorry if that was hefty. Okay.
No, that was great. If we can share with youth how to cope healthy with life, that's the all the better, So
Mhm.
that's wonderful that you guys are mentoring the youth, and I just have to commend you and Spy Hop, and I'm just so happy that we have a strong partnership going on 3 years with Spy Hop. So, and thank you to Samantha for seeking that sponsorship or that partnership, sorry, and getting things going for the community of Tsepi Ndzisgaii Community Center. So thank you so much, Tommy and Ricky, for joining me today during Sihasin Hour. I really appreciate you being here and sharing um, about Sihasin Hour. So, and so thank you to everyone else listening. And, if you want to learn more about um, Voices of the West and the future youth programs at Spyhop at Sebi Ndzisgaii Community Center, you can visit us on our Facebook page, and or you can visit our website, which is at navajohopesolidarity.org. And then if you guys want to share your website, we can certainly
Yeah.
um, share
Yeah,
as
so
well.
you can find Spyhop online at spyhop.org.
Mhm.
We're on all the social medias as well, usually spy_hop. And if you have any questions about anything we talked about today, our upcoming programming, our visits to Monument Valley, you can reach us at info@spyhop.org.
Yeah, and if you do want to watch any of the Voice of the West films, especially the Monument Valley one, Spy Hub has its own YouTube channel, and there is a database on that YouTube channel, and you can scroll through the playlist and see where you can find the different Monument Valley videos. So maybe you'll see a relative's video or one of your child's feature films, or maybe you happen to miss a film and didn't see it. So they're all there on the YouTube. Thank you very much. We love chatting with you guys.
Yeah.
And please, if you have any other questions or any parents have any questions, feel free to reach out. Like, don't hesitate to call us or contact us because we're happy to answer questions at any
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. I really love visiting Monument Valley. I'm excited to come back this summer.
Oh yeah, it's like the best part of our year. Like
Yeah,
we
for
talk
sure.
about all the time how like we're like we can't wait to go to Mount Valley. Like our coworker Fonzie, who most of the students know about, Fonzie's like that's one of the like reasons I have this job is so I can go out to Monument Valley because it's like such a blast and seeing that as someone who loves movies and films, like I always want to see what they're gonna make. Like some of their shorts I show people all the time. I'll show like my family or friends, like, you gotta see this video this kid made. Like, so like we're fans ourselves, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Ahxéhee, and thank you so much for your time and I hope you guys have a great afternoon and for everyone else out there, take care, everyone.
Thank
Back
you.
on it.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.